Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is 903 Sports. I am your host, Cameron Brown, joined by the boy, Hunter Shattuck. Two-man pod today. We're going to do a little PGA Championship preview. A couple golfers like ourselves, major time. The PGA Championship begins tomorrow. When this pod's released, it'll be the day of. So big tournament coming up this week. A lot of storylines at Southern Hills this year in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So Hunter, run me through some of the big time storylines that we need to pay attention to this weekend.
Yeah, so the biggest storyline is probably going to be the defending Masters champion, Scottie Scheffler. He's the number one player in the world. He's won 4 of his last 7 starts. He didn't really play all that well last week in Dallas, but it was his first individual start since the Masters, and playing in his hometown, I bet it was a lot of emotions, kind of a weird week. So he didn't really have his best stuff, but I wouldn't really put too much weight into that. He said Southern Hills is one of his favorite courses, which is obviously, like you said, where the PGA is this week. If he wins this week, he's halfway to the Grand Slam. We saw something similar when Jordan Spieth won his first Masters, and he came out and won the U.S. Open, which at the time was the second major of the year. And you'll remember the hype that was around that, like the British Open, which at the time, again, was the third major. When Spieth was going for the Grand Slam, it was just insane. I mean, the hype around that British Open was incredible. So we could see something like that if Scottie could somehow get it done this week. And we'll talk about the golf course a little bit in a second, but man, it's a good fit for Scottie. He seems to be in a good run of form, as good as you could possibly be. And so I think that's something that is probably the number one storyline other than Tiger.
Lack of play.
What's that?
Should we be worried about his lack of play since the Masters? It's one appearance wasn't great last week.
Yeah, maybe. I don't really think so, because I think last week probably knocked the rust off, and by the weekend he looked better. He made a nice triple on Friday last week and still shot 4 under that round, so that's pretty good if you ask me. So I think he's probably all right. If he doesn't win, I don't think I'd knock it up to the rust. Second storyline, I mentioned a little bit. Tiger's obviously playing, which I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit. But I mean, what else do you need to say? It's Tiger freaking Woods, and he's playing in a major championship this week, so that's awesome. Yeah. Another storyline that always comes into the PGA now is Jordan Spieth going for the career Grand Slam, and he's somebody who's getting his form back. He won at Harbor Town, and then in his next start, he finished second last week at Craig Ranch. And so in his last 2 starts, he's won and then T2. So, I mean, it's pretty good. And this place, I think if you're talking about course fit, I think he's as good as it gets.
I thought he was going to win last week.
Yep. Man, and I'm not going to say it's good he didn't, but I think winning the week before a major just kind of, it seems to put expectations a little bit too high for guys. And it's really, really hard to win 2 in a row anyway, especially with that second one being a major.
And this is the last leg of his Grand Slam, correct?
Yep. Yeah, he won. It's kind of interesting. He's got 3 majors, but they're all different. So it's really rare to win the career Grand Slam, but I feel like it's unheard of for it to be your first 4 majors, all different. You know, that's kind of crazy.
Cool. Yeah.
But it's just kind of on the career Grand Slam. It's wild, the guys who haven't won it. You know, Arnold Palmer didn't win the career Grand Slam.
Hard to do.
Think about that. I mean, that's ridiculous. So
that's Rory, how hard it is.
Yeah, it could be a career-defining week for Jordan Spieth. So that's another storyline I'm watching. One more is, I've got 2 more here, but one that I think is not being talked about enough is Colin Morikawa. So this will be his 10th start in a major, just 10. Okay. And so in the 9 starts he's already made, he has 5 top 10s, 4 top 5s, and 2 wins, which is ridiculous. So if with a win this week, he would have 3 majors at the age of 24, which is the same amount as Jordan Spieth. It's more than Justin Thomas, Dustin Johnson, Jon Rahm. He would be 1 behind Rory, who is basically the gold standard of the non-Tiger crowd, you know? So that would put him in the upper echelon of players at the age of 24, which would be crazy. And then the last one, I'm going to lay down the gauntlet on Justin Thomas. It is time for him to put up or shut up.
You were telling me this earlier. This is a hot take.
This is, you know, and I love JT. I really do. I love watching him. but he's always one of the betting favorites. Always.
Yep. Every week.
His odds are inflated because of who he is. He's really only won. I mean, he's only won one major, and I don't really remember him really contending in too many others. It's not like, that Greg Norman documentary on ESPN a couple months ago that came out. You saw how many times he came runner up. So you can't always just look at wins, because a lot of times you're really contending, really knocking on the door. But JT really hadn't even done that.
No, he hasn't.
So he won the Players out of nowhere last year, and then just kind of hasn't really done much since. He backdoor top 10 the Masters, but was never really in contention there. So I think if he doesn't show up and doesn't seriously contend this week, I'm going to start questioning if he's one of the guys. You know what I mean?
No, that's fair. I mean,
are you really one of the guys if you're not seriously contending to win a major every now and then?
I can't think of the last time JT was in contention on Sunday. Like, he was out. Like, I think he played with Rory on Sunday at the Masters, and I was like, okay, if JT goes out and shoots 63 like Rory almost did, they don't have a chance. But he did not do that.
But that's not, in my mind, that's not really contending.
No, I agree.
I want to see him on the back nine on Sunday within a couple shots of the lead.
Yep.
And because he's real fun to watch, man. He plays with a lot of fire, a lot of passion, and whenever he gets under the gun, he's really, really fun to watch.
Yep. He is.
But unfortunately, he just hasn't been doing that consistently enough. So those are the things that I'll be keeping an eye on. And I didn't even talk about Dustin Johnson or Jon Rahm or Brooks Koepka. And there's just so many guys to watch other than Tiger. And I said the similar thing at the Masters, and I think it still applies here. And with Scottie winning at the Masters, it just adds to the other storylines here. But obviously, I'm waking up tomorrow morning to watch Tiger. So
I got a couple of things for you. I don't really want this to be a Q&A, but I have a few. I want to get your thoughts on a few things.
Mm-hmm.
So one, it's very interesting to me in the storylines, not just yours, but in the media, that we're not really hearing a whole lot about Jon Rahm, DJ, or Koepka, the three names that you just named. Why do we think that is? I know DJ's form hasn't been great. Mm-hmm. Koepka's hasn't. And then Rahm hasn't really been playing a whole lot. I think he just had just kind of been off the grid. So I find that very interesting that those three are not in the big storyline, because Rahm's still number 2 in the world. And I wouldn't be shocked if any of those three won the tournament this weekend.
Yeah, well, you kind of said it. So it's in my opinion, it's kind of a double-edged sword, where you've got those guys aren't really in the best of form, and then a lot of other guys are. Like golf, I said it before the Masters, the golf's in a great spot where the media is not grasping at straws to have stuff to talk about. Like, there's not enough room in the Live from the PGA show to talk about everybody that's worth talking about, which has never been the case with golf. Usually it's, what feature can we run on Tiger Woods from 1997 to fill this half hour? But now it's, how can we talk about all the guys that deserve talking about? So when you got a guy like Dustin Johnson or Jon Rahm, who are good players, obviously, who just aren't in the best of form, they do kind of take a back seat to the guys who have been playing well, which is probably good for them. I mean, I'm sure they enjoy it. Back when it was Tiger and only Tiger, every bad shot he hit was under the microscope and he had to answer for it. And so when you're Jon Rahm and you're the number 2 player in the world, and we're talking, he won his last start, by the way, we're talking about like the guy hasn't won in forever. But before that, he was really struggling. And even in Mexico, he didn't have his best stuff. I
forgot that he won in Mexico.
It was a really weak field, and he did what he was supposed to do. When you're the number 2 player in the world in a really bad field and you have any sort of game, you better win. And that's just the way it is.
Top 5, top 3.
Better exactly. So, it's interesting with Koepka, because I feel like this is when he plays well. He came out of the gate in his career and didn't really do much. And then he won a couple majors real quick. And then he won a couple more majors really quick after that. Really? And then the expectations built up super high, right? At every major, it was like, well, Koepka hadn't had his best stuff recently, but it's a major, so look out for him. And he still contended, but it's interesting. His last major was the PGA at Bethpage. And I don't want to start rambling too much on Brooks Koepka. I mean, the dude's 45-1. So he's not one of the favorites, but
it's just crazy to me.
He had, I think it was a 4 or 5 shot lead going into the back nine. I don't remember how. It was a big lead. I don't remember how big it was, but he lost the lead and won by a shot. So he still won the tournament, but it was the first time in a major that he had looked human. Usually under the gun in a major before that, he had been absolute nails. Like when Tiger finished second at the PGA, I forget where it was. I think in St. Louis. Brooks Koepka didn't miss a shot under the gun. I mean, he looked like a robot. And then at Bethpage, he looked like a human being. And ever since then, under the gun in a major, it's like he just doesn't have the same killer instinct. And so I think there's a little bit of that in Brooks now. I don't know if it's like fully there where he's actually doubting himself, but it sure looks like it. And you combine that with the injuries that he's had.
That's another thing is he's been kind of banged up, but he just hasn't really been sharp. And it's just been interesting to me for a guy who was on top of the golf world from 18 to 20 for 2018, 2020, and then maybe a little bit in 21. And then he's just kind of off the grid just to die in the field at that point. So go ahead.
But like I said, this feels like when he's going to play well, right? Expectations are down. Nobody's talking about him. He's 45-1 to win the golf tournament. And his last 3 PGAs are win, second,
he plays
4th and 6th, right?
Really
isn't that right?
Golf tournament is correct. Yeah.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. So
another guy in the field that's just kind of a guy and has turned into a guy in the field that I want to talk about is Ricky Fowler. This could be the last major we ever see Ricky Fowler play.
Yeah, he's not exempt into any of them anymore, right?
146th in the world. I didn't even know he was playing, but I had forgotten he got top 10 last year in the PGA. Maybe, he was top 6 or whatever the exemption
whatever it was. But he only got into that on a pseudo sponsors exemption. He got a special invite to play in the PGA and then played well enough to get in.
This could be the last time we ever seen him. So I want to ask you this. What happened to Ricky Fowler? 3 years ago, we were talking about when is Ricky Fowler going to win a major? Now we're talking about when is Ricky Fowler going to lose his tour card? Because that's a good point. He's about to Hunter Mahan himself off the tour. Like, no joke.
Yeah.
Like, 146 in the world is you're not going to get your tour card back. You're going to have to go into the big tournament with the web.com to get your card back. And then Ricky's gone. He's not going to play on the web.com.
That's just crazy.
I
mean, I knew it was getting bad. I didn't realize he was down to 146 in the world.
Yep.
What's weird to me, and Spieth, when he kind of went into the wilderness like he did, it was the same thing. They're not shooting 80. It's not like he's Smiley Kaufman and just forgot how to play golf. He just forgot how to be world class at it.
But Ricky's is worse than Jordan, though. Jordan was still 50, 40 in the world. Ricky.
Yeah. But if I went out and played against Ricky tomorrow, he'd still wipe the floor with me. It's not like he's forgotten how to play golf. Right. He's just not one of the best players in the world anymore. Yeah. And it's not like he needs a total overhaul of his golf game, like somebody like a Hunter Mahan did when he lost his game, totally lost it. Or who's the guy with the big eyebrows? Stephen Bowditch. Stephen Bowditch was not, I mean, he was never Ricky Fowler, but he was a multi-time winner on the PGA Tour and then couldn't break 80. I mean, just straight up couldn't break 80. I was supposed to play with him in a U.S. Open qualifier and he withdrew. And I mean, when you're paired with me in a U.S. Open local qualifier, that's not good, man. When you're a winner on the PGA Tour, that's not good. So
he knew you were going to beat him by 10. He withdrew.
That's right. That's right. I'd be scared of me too. But no, I don't know. I don't know what the problem is with Ricky, man. The problem is he's not on TV anymore. So I want to watch the guy and see what's going on, but he never gets shown because he's never really in contention. But the stats say that his putting is what's killing him, which is always what saved him back when he was playing well. So he doesn't seem to be hitting it all that bad, but he just can't get the ball in the hole. So he's fun to watch for his sake and for our sake. I know you like him like I do.
Love Ricky.
I hope he gets it back. I mean, he's fun to watch. He's good for the game.
Yeah, he slowly turned into one of my favorite players in the world, and then all of a sudden he's ejected himself, and you don't ever see Ricky because he's just
it was like out of nowhere too, wasn't it?
He won the Waste Management my senior year, I believe, so in 19 maybe 18 or 19, one of those years, and that was his last win, and he really hasn't been in too many contention since. Now he's lost he can't play the Masters because he's not top 50. He can't play in the U.S. Open. He didn't play in the last year's U.S. Open, I don't believe. And now he can't play the British Open. And, all he has left is the PGA because of how well he played last year. So
this could be it. Wow.
Ricky comes out here and shoots 75, and we may never see him play another major. That is really crazy to me. So hopefully for his sake, he goes out, makes a cut as another solid start, just kind of build on something,
Yeah.
All right, the big question. We didn't talk about it in the storylines. I noticed you left out Tiger in your storylines. I know so I just want to say this. We both love Tiger. obviously. And that's an understatement.
Yes.
There is a narrative, and it was okay to get away with it in 2005. The Tiger. I want to see Tiger hit all 70 shots. I want to see every second of Tiger's interview. The whole recap to be about Tiger's round, no matter if he's in 40th or first. In today's golf, there's so many good players. Scottie, Colin, Cantlay, DJ. I could go on and on. Rory Spieth, so forth. It's still at the Masters, it was all about Tiger. And it was a remarkable comeback for Tiger. Just to play. It was awesome. I watched all of it. It was great. It just seems like we're sticking to the narrative of Tiger, and not, Scottie. In my opinion, the story should be on Scottie, the hottest player in the world, trying to go back-to-back majors. That should be the story. But I turn on ESPN and talk about the PGA Championship, and every question was about Tiger Woods. It doesn't really make me mad because I love Tiger. It's not good for the game.
Yeah.
And I heard Scottie's interview. They were talking to him about, how do you feel the pressure? How do you feel coming to this tournament? And he said, Tiger's here, so no one cares about me that I'm here, so I'm just going to go do my thing. And he has a point. Like, that's where the storyline revolves, and it's just because Tiger's the best golfer to ever lace up the boots. So I don't know. That's interesting. I think that it's kind of hard to change that, but it is something that needs to be. It's not good for the game. This is probably the greatest era of golf we've ever seen as far as the talent.
It's not even close. It is not even close.
It's insane. I wouldn't. You could name me 60 names right now, and I'd be like, yeah, I could see him winning this week. No doubt about it. That's one thing. So I do want to talk about Tiger, though. What do we think his chances are to win this week? He made the cut at the Masters, which was very impressive. His first start since the injury. And I've been hearing, Tiger, he sounds confident. He's walking, looks like he's getting around okay. What do we think his expectations are this week? Because he has won at this golf tournament before.
At this course. Yeah. So I just want to say, you nailed it when you talked about the narrative issue. And believe me, if there's any human on earth that wants to talk about Tiger Woods, it's me. Like, I want to pass people on the street and say, hey, do you know about Tiger? Let's talk about Tiger. But your point is perfectly on it about how it's not good for the game, because especially ESPN, that reaches people who are kind of fringe golf fans, where if maybe they could reach a couple new fans if they wanted to. But the problem is the casual fan doesn't know that there are other good golfers other than Tiger, because it's all Tiger all the time. Yeah. And so when Tiger's not playing, like happened all last year, the casual fan is like, well, Tiger's not playing, so nobody else is any good, right? But so that's the only issue I have with it. Obviously, like I said, I'm waking up in the morning to watch Tiger. Like, he is the reason I'll be watching that group. Obviously, I love Jordan Spieth. I love to watch Rory because I like to root against him. So that's one of the best groups I've ever seen.
That is the best group I've ever seen. That's going to be incredible.
But television. I live and die watching Tiger play golf. Like, when Tiger was playing in the Masters, I texted you this. Whenever he was playing well on Thursday, I said, I never thought I'd feel this again. Like, watching him play good golf makes me feel the way as a fan that no other sport does. Like, no team does. Like, Tiger is the guy for me in sports. And so when I say the negative things about how he's getting too much attention, I don't mean it as a shot against Tiger.
We mean it as for the game as a whole.
Yeah, 100%.
There are people out there that have mild interest in golf that honestly probably, if I was say, hey, what do you think about Scottie Scheffler? They probably don't know who he is other than, he just won the Masters, right?
Yeah.
I don't know his number one world.
And I'll say this
times this year.
Scottie is so much fun to watch because he's got that funky swing and he hits crazy shots.
Yeah.
He's so fun to watch. So I think especially that, that's why he was my leading storyline. I think if Scottie could get a win this week and become officially like, hey, I'm here and I'm here to stay, I think that'd be awesome for the game because he is a blast to watch. But anyway, back to your point on Tiger. I got us off track there. The way I'm thinking about it is I want to see improvement.
Yeah.
So he talked in his press conference about how he only took one day off after the Masters and the next day was leg day, which is just ridiculous. If he's telling the truth there, he's just an animal. And I think if he was able to get right back at it and put in more work and get stronger and build up the endurance with that leg, we should see like improvement, because it wasn't the golf that let him down at Augusta. It was his leg, like his energy and fatigue. And so if with more energy, you would think, hey, he's probably going to be playing well. I mean, so I'll kind of talk about the course a little bit, but from what I understand about it, it's a very, very much second shot course with a lot of creativity around the greens, because there's not a whole lot of rough around the greens. And Tiger Woods is far and away, without question, the best iron player of all time.
No doubt.
He's also probably the best chipper of all time, but certainly one of the best chippers of all time. And he still has his iron game, and he still has his hands around the green.
Wedge player.
So why? I thought about it a second ago. If he is healthy, not healthy, but healthy for Tiger, if he can get through 72 holes without too many issues, why can't he contend this week? I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but do you think he might be able to do it?
I do.
I started thinking about it, man.
He at Augusta. My thing with him at Augusta was, can he get around okay, and how's he hitting the golf ball?
Well, and the thing about Southern Hills, it's extremely hilly. Maybe not quite like Augusta, but it's no St. Andrews. So that's going to be in the cards. But he said he's gotten stronger. He said his endurance level is higher than it was at the Masters.
And the weather's not going to be as bad as it was at Augusta either. The cold weather really played an effect on how he was getting around. He got around pretty good the first 2 days. Then it got cold, windy, and tough, and he was kind of, in a little bit of pain, it looked like to me.
Yeah.
Sidebar, the Rangers just tied it up.
They tied it up?
Tied it up, baby.
How did they do it?
Jonah Heim, the best catcher in baseball, double.
He's so good.
Unreal. Anyway. I think he can contend for sure. What killed him in Augusta is his putting, and I'm never concerned about Tiger's putting. It just...
No. The thing is about his putting is, we talk about his leg all the time. He still has a hurt back. Like he wasn't playing golf when he hurt his leg because he was recovering from back surgery.
Right.
So he said it a lot in the last few years, talking about his back, is he can't spend the time putting that he used to be able to. And this, Cameron, if you can't spend the time putting, like practicing, it doesn't really matter how good of a putter you are. You're not going to be elite, and so I think the days of Tiger just being totally nails on the putting green is kind of over. I think those days are gone, but he's still good enough.
Not like he did at Augusta, but
I
agree with your point. Yeah. It's not going to be lights out, because that's a good point. I mean, if you go putt for an hour, your back's a little strained.
Mm-hmm.
You're just hunched over.
And when you think about it, we've seen that for the past ever since he had his back fused. The putter was kind of the weakest link since he got his back fused in 2018 or whenever that was.
Right.
He hasn't been great. I mean, I remember one week at Memorial, he was right in contention and just missed like three footers on the back nine. But anyway, no, I totally think he's going to finish better than the T47 that he did at Augusta. And oh my gosh, I'm doing it again. I would not be shocked if he's in contention come Sunday. Dang it.
I'd like to see him make the cut, put 4 good rounds together, maybe be in the mix come Saturday. Come Sunday. It'd be good to see. It's always good to see Tiger in the mix.
I'll say this. I'm not going to have my hopes and dreams on it. I will not.
No.
If he misses the cut, I've said it plenty of times now, but this is all gravy. Anything he does now is just gravy.
Yeah. We got the 2019 Masters. I will never, not that he owed us anything in the first place, but I will never ask or anything else of Tiger.
Yeah, that was closure. That was closure for me.
That was closure on one of the greatest careers in the history of sports. And anything after this is just gravy. Like you said, it's just cake. I'd love 100%. It if he won. I'd love to see him win 3 more. Do I expect him to ever win one again? No, but I will never doubt the man again, ever. So
agreed.
I want to get our picks in here. I want to get your pick right off the dome to win it. And then we will go into we've been picking these majors for years now. We'll pick 6 players. We'll do this on the pod at the end. But I want to get your winner right off the dome before we do that.
Well, I'm afraid to you have first pick. So
I have first pick. It's not going to change my pick.
Yeah, Jordan Spieth is winning this tournament.
Why do I have the first pick? Just for
because you won our pick 'em at the Masters. You got lucky. All right.
It's like my 4th win in a row, but who's counting? Well, your pick to win the Masters. I have my pick. It's not going to change.
Yeah, Jordan Spieth is winning.
That's my pick as well. Scares me. His odds, he's like the 5th favorite or 4th favorite to win it. He's playing
I'm real
such good
confident.
golf right now. He's playing
Yeah,
such good golf.
he like I talked about with Tiger, what this golf course demands is what Jordan Spieth does well.
And Spieth's not a high ball hitter, is he?
Not he hits it plenty high. I mean,
You don't really want to be a high ball hitter, though. It's going to be blowing 30 all weekend.
yeah, I think it's supposed to get better by Saturday, Sunday, but he works it and hits it so solid that the wind isn't really going to affect him much. And he has an imagination, which I think is more important than just hitting it high or low, is having an imagination to be able to hit golf shots. But he's been hitting it so well, and he's such a good iron player, such a good chipper. Yeah, I think this week just sets up absolutely perfectly for him. So yeah, that's your winner.
His wedge game's been so good lately. I love Spieth this week. I'd love to see him get the slam. I think it's time. It's time for Spieth to win another major. We're getting on JT. Spieth's last major was what, 2016?
2017.
2017.
British Open.
Crazy. Now Spieth's put together a couple wins in that span, which he's already won this year. So I like Jordan this week as well. I'm going with the sleeper pick before we pick our game. Well, actually, I'll take that back. Can't do that. I don't want to give you a guy for our picks. So let's jump into our picks. We get 6 guys. We take the 5 lowest scores, and then run me through if someone misses a cut.
So if somebody misses the cut, you get a 5-stroke penalty to your team. And then if you have 2 guys miss the cut, then you have 2 5-stroke penalties, and then we just take the lowest 4 scores, and then so on and so on.
Okay. All right, I'm ready to pick mine.
You get first pick. I'm ready.
Give me Spieth.
All righty. I'll take Scottie Scheffler.
See, I have a rule to not ever pick Rory McIlroy, but God, it's gonna be hard to pass on him.
That's a good rule
in this tournament, though, man. Okay, so I got Spieth, and you got Scottie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I did just get the number 1 player in the world in second pick, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, but if I took Scottie, you were going to take Spieth.
I would be happy with that too.
I can't speak on the pod my winner and then not pick him with the first pick like an idiot. Just can't do that. I can't pick Rory. I just can't do it at this point.
No, you wouldn't pick him right here anyway, you fool.
No, he's been playing better.
He has been playing better. The problem is, though, like I said, this is a second shot wedge chipping golf course, and that's what he does poorly.
Yeah, that's true. Not that I'm ever going to pick him, but is Bryson playing this week? I read that.
No, he actually WD'd for his hand injury.
Hate that. That's tough luck.
Yeah, I hate to see that, don't you?
Really hate to see that. Okay, give me. I'll take John Rahm. He won his last start.
Oh yeah, that's smart. I was going to do that.
Tough guy to let slip there.
John Rahm. Who do I want? Let's see. It's tough because I don't want to give out names that I'm thinking about picking.
Bryson's kind of fallen off the map too. I know he's been hurt, but
yeah, he wasn't playing well before the injury though either.
How much for that par 68 at Augusta? He told us all about. That sure worked out for you, Pods.
Yeah, turns out golf is still hard, no matter how far you hit it.
Really, really tough game.
All right, you know what? I put this man on notice today. I'm taking Justin Thomas.
Oh, you just look a clown for your rant now.
No, I'm just firing him up a little bit. Just what did Joe Madden say? What did Joe Madden say when he intentionally walked Corey Seager to walk in a run? He said, "I was just trying to fire up the boys. Just trying to fire up the boys." That's what I'm doing with Justin Thomas.
Get him going a little bit. Give me Colin Morikawa.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
There. Best ball.
Man, I don't know. I got a bad feeling about Colin this week. He doesn't do well in the wind.
At the Masters. Oh, I'm an idiot. I can't pick the Cali boy in this weather.
Yeah,
gosh.
I mean, the wind blew at Augusta and he finished 4th. So, I mean, he's a good golfer.
Missed the cut at the Masters. Not Jordan. Colin. Xander missed the cut at the Masters.
Yeah. I'm surprised we hadn't talked about Xander. He shot.
He missed cut at the Masters.
He shot 61, I think, in the last round last week. So I think that might have been him telling the world, "Hey, I figured something out."
You can have him.
You know what? I think I will. I think I'm going to take him.
He did win the 2-man with Cantley as well.
All right, I picked Xander.
Now it gets tough.
Yeah, we're getting down to the nitty gritty here.
It's really tough to keep passing on Rory at this point. I'll tell you what, I'm going to throw you a curveball here, and I'm just to beg you to take Rory. Give me Victor Hovland.
Dang it. Why you got to go pick my guy, Victor?
I guarantee you he's played this course several times. Played college golf in Oklahoma.
Yeah, he has played it several times. Dang it. They had the Big 12 championship out there.
Yeah. He knows this golf course well.
Dadgummit. I wanted
Never
to
got to
pick
play
him.
that course. Got to play Carson Creek and all the other courses, but never got to go out there. I've heard it's immaculate.
Yeah. So when I was in school, the Big 12 championship was on a 3-course rotation with Whispering Pines, Prairie Dunes, and Southern Hills.
Gosh, I love
And Southern Hills was the year before I got there and the year after I got there, since I was only there for 2 years. So I never got to play it.
Oh, so you never got to play Southern Hills?
We did Whispering Pines my junior year and Prairie Dunes my senior year.
Is Whispering still up on your top courses?
Yeah, it's fantastic. And they've redone it too. So they made it all Zoysia. So I bet it's even better.
Yeah, I haven't played since the redo, but that's in my top 3 tracks I've ever played. Love that golf course.
I feel like I'm missing people. I've got my big board here, and I feel like I missed some guys on my big board.
I got a couple guys I'm looking at.
Oh my gosh. Give me Dustin Johnson. Holy crap.
You can have DJ. How'd he do at Augusta? He kind of made the cut in like 20th or something.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't remember. So he must not have been that great.
Give me Rory. I mean, I have to. I literally just have no choice.
I can't wait for him to play bad.
Oh, he'll shoot 80, 79. No, he'll shoot 80 and then 68 and miss the cut by 2 or something.
All right, let's see.
I can't believe I just did that. I've been winning these because I stopped picking Rory.
Man, I tell you what, I want to pick this guy.
I know exactly who I'm taking if you don't take him right now.
It's the guy I'm about to take. Give me Cam Smith.
Oh, you can have him. Oh, no. I love Cam Smith, but just like I told you earlier, this getting second place at the Masters falling apart on Sunday does a big toll on people. So I don't know if I trust Cam Smith. He hasn't really played too well since that tournament. I'm gonna stay away. Give me Will Zalatoris, the new Brooks Koepka in majors.
Brooks Koepka. That's a good pick.
Dude's an animal in the majors.
I like Will.
Great ball.
All right.
Horrible putter. I'll take you in a putting contest any day of the week, Will.
I don't know, Bob. You didn't see me putt yesterday.
Uh-oh. You putt better?
What's that?
I thought you were struggling with the putter.
Oh no, yesterday was rough.
Yeah, I know. We can take Will. Will's a terrible putter.
Yeah, he's not good. He's not a good putter.
Ball striker on tour.
Yeah. Will, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, it's okay. He won't be listening.
Yeah, probably not. All right, so I'm with the last pick, right? So I can just talk this out.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. Who's open? Patrick Cantlay's still on the board. Sam Burns is still on the board. Let's see. That's pretty much it, right? As far as big guns.
I stayed away from my sleeper pick, Max Homa. I really like Max this week.
Yeah, I like Max a lot too.
Really don't Cali boys in this weather, but
this seems like a good week for Louis to come out of hibernation and contend in a major.
He did at Augusta.
That's true. He did. You know, I really like this week is Maverick McNeely.
Ooh,
I like him to make a sneaky like top 25.
I'll tell you a guy that you're not going to pick, but that Shane Lowry's played some dang good golf this year.
Yeah.
He's been up at the top of every golf tournament that he's contended this year. I don't think he's had a win yet, but he's played.
All right. I'm picking Patrick Cantlay because I don't think Sam Burns can chip it well enough out there.
Can't pass on Cantlay here. That's who I figured you'd take.
All right. So let's go through the teams real quick. You have Jordan Spieth, John Rahm, Colin Morikawa, Victor Hovland, Rory McIlroy. Nice pick there, Bob. And Will Zalatoris.
Yeah.
And I have world number 1 Scottie Scheffler, Justin Thomas, Xander Schauffele, Dustin Johnson, Cam Smith, and Patrick Cantlay.
Not even close.
Yeah, I won that pretty good. All right.
It's like the Jets playing the Rams week 1 of the NFL season. And I'm the
Do y'all really play the Rams week 1?
No, I'm just
okay.
comparing our teams here. All right. We'll run it back again. Another baseball nugget. Jonah Heim, 5. No, let me see that again. Jonah Heim is 7 for 7 against Shohei Ohtani.
No way.
Baseball
this season's right? This season?
I think so. I think it's what I just read. Just a little baseball nugget for you.
Because didn't he hit a grand slam against him?
I'm incorrect. He's 5 for 5 with 7 ribbies against Shohei Ohtani this year.
Pretty 7 ribbies. My gosh.
All right, that'll wrap up our golf pod. I kind of like doing these special pods for whatever
Mhm.
sporting events going on. That's all. We don't need to talk NBA. Celtics are fine. Lost last night. They'll be okay. Nothing to be worried about. We got
All you got to do is just pick up one on the road. That's it.
series doesn't start until the road team wins. Last
That's
pod
right.
we did, the Celtics were down 3-2, turned it around and won that series. So we're okay. PGA Championship this weekend. A lot of things to keep an eye on. Tiger, Spieth, can he get the slam? Rory, can he win another major? Can Scottie keep it going? Hottest player in the world. We will see. We'll see y'all next week. We'll recap the PGA, talk a little NBA, and I'd like to get a little NHL playoff talking as well.
Ooh.
Thanks everybody for listening. We'll see y'all next week.